Hello and welcome in this part concerning tan management. The first thing you have to do is to convert the skin using this script. This will apply a new shader, and all the other scripts and presets can then be used on the figure. The conversion proposes 4 starting options. The 2 left ones are for figures with clear base color maps, and the 2 right ones are for figures using darker base color maps. You can try several of these presets if you want to. This will only give you the starting point to build your tan. Once this is done, you can use a global management interface to control the tan, which is the most efficient way to reach your results, or you can use the many partial presets included in the product. In both cases, you will find tan boosters here, acting on the gamma value of the base color image maps and helping to increase the perception of the tan, especially for figures with clear base maps. So each time you click on the tan boosters, it takes a few seconds because Daz Studio has to refresh the image maps. So let's come back to a medium tan booster, for instance. And what you will find too is darkness and saturation adjusters, acting respectively on the darkness and saturation of base color maps, because tan skins often happen darker or more saturated than clear skins, pale skins. For instance, here is what happens when I change the saturation levels. You see, the skin becomes more and more saturated. Let's take a medium low saturation levels. And here is what happens when I work on the darkness levels of the skin. The higher the preset, the darker the skin. For figures which are using eyebrows as diffuse overlay, you may have to select the surface and here write diff to access rapidly the diffuse overlay color so that you can darken it a bit too to ensure a better continuity between the face skin and the eyebrow. And finally, you will find hue adjustments here, acting either on the hue of the base color map directly or on the SSS reflectance tint. And this is in general the final adjustment steps, and it is at this stage highly recommended to use the global interface instead, because the partial presets proposed may not cover all the situations in terms of original skin maps and final tone wanted. So let's use the global interface. It proposes much more hue correction, much more possibilities. So here what is interesting is that I can fine-tune everything. I can fine-tune the darkness. Okay, so this is not a fine-tune, this is a large tune, but I can fine-tune the darkness and the saturation. And all the part concerning the hue is here, all right? So this acts on the hue of the base color map directly, and this acts on the shader and on the translucency. If I set very low translucency, I lose a lot of reddish in the skin, okay? For figure with dark skins, original base color maps, you will have to not to set the translucency too high or to set a less saturated translucency color. Here, so you can act on the base color map directly. So this is the color with which the base color map will be multiplied, and this will be just like in Photoshop, mixed, blended, layered over the original the original base color that you have. And you have several possibilities. You can change only the hue, but you can blend the two layers, add, screen, or average the two layers. Take care that if you blend, you will have, of course, something lighter, because the original image map is lighter from the start. Okay. In here you can define the strength which this blend is made. So whatever you do, if you set a 0 strength, nothing will change. And if you set a high strength, there will be a strong change. So this here can create a strong adjustment if you swap from hue to blend, add, or screen. You can really have strong changes. Okay. Also, one very strong parameter is the SSS reflectance tint. If you darken it, if you go to something brown, the skin will go to something brown. For instance, if it's hard for you to find the right darkness and saturation, you can set up something very low in terms of darkness and saturation, and you can choose a brown SSS reflectance tint. And this is a very fast way to have tan skins. The only drawback is that you tend to be automatically a bit reddish or orange. Okay, so either you work on the hue of the map, okay, on the color of the base color image maps, or you can work on the SSS reflectance tints, and of course you can work on the base color if you want. But the SSS reflectance tints is a very powerful parameter to change the color. Here I'm a bit too yellow, so I would change the darkness, for instance. Okay, and slightly the saturation, and since I'm too yellow, I could go on something more violet. Okay, this is just an example of everything you can do with this interface. And finally, you will find in the tan folder all the files whose name begin with GHWT tan, okay? And these are, at the end, you will find many of almost full presets, okay? And each time you click a preset, if the gamma changes, of course, you have a few seconds so that Daz Studio refreshes the images. Okay, so you can have very clear skins or dark or more tanned ones, and these are the many presets, okay, that you can use. And you also, so there are really many, and you also have presets dedicated to specific Daz Studio figures, such as, for instance, Victoria 8. Okay, you have 2 presets for her because she is more used than other figures. So this is the first preset, but as you see, we can reach much more different skin tones. So this is all for the tan management. I hope that you liked it, and now the next video will speak about the wet look management.